Okay then, hello and welcome back to SLR F1. Once again here for the Division 2 race, round number 17, and we are at Suzuka, one of the most classic circuits on the calendar, one of my personal favourites. I'm Ham, and I'm once again, for about the fourth week in a row now I think, joined by Jam, so good evening to you mate.
Hello everyone watching the stream as well. Yeah, this is, I think you said it as well, one of your favourites. I think it's a driver's favourite as well, Suzuka. Obviously, a classic track, the only one on the calendar that's a figure eight. Obviously, you go under the track. Just here as I'm watching, we've checked this out, and yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully another great race alongside you in the commentary box.
Yeah, it was a really enjoyable race last time out. Just noticed actually that last week's winner, Crispy, is not racing here tonight. So I mean, it may be a bit early to say it, albeit there are still 5 races to go. But I think that's his championship all but over now, surely, with Clock and Beast almost certainly going to be gaining some points on him, more so than what they already have to him. I think Crispy's definitely a long shot for the championship now.
Mm. Yeah, if Clock and Beast score decent points today, I think that's his championship. Over 4 races to go, he's already about 40 odd points behind. So yeah, I think that would be it for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, Clock already has quite a big lead anyway over Beast, I believe, and so obviously Beast with that P2 last week was able to claw it back a little bit, but even so, I mean, Clock had about 40 points to Beast, if I do recall, and even more so to Crispy. So I mean, Beast is definitely on the back foot. He's definitely got some catching up to do, and Crispy even more so. But obviously he's not here tonight, so I think he'd do extremely well. He'd need a miracle, I think, if he was to clinch the title. But nonetheless, we'll focus at what we do have here today and who is racing. One of those being Iceman Liam, who came off the back of a couple of strong performances now the last few weeks. He said he wasn't feeling too great about Japan. I don't think he particularly likes the track, but he seems to be doing alright at the moment. It seems like a pretty tidy lap so far. He's just come out of the spoon curve. Coming up now to one of the most notorious corners in F1, 130R. Flat out, left hand up. Brakes, nice, slows it down nicely there for the chicane that is also a very infamous corner, with obviously the Senna and Prost coming together. And there you go, Liam across the line, 29.5. Not a bad banker, is it, Jam?
No, Czech's done a 29.8, so he's ahead of someone at the moment. You just mentioned as well. Oh god, I forgot what I was going to say. As straight away, Beast and OMH have beaten him, and Division. OMH setting the early pace on the 29.0. Oh god, I really can't remember what I was going to say. That's really annoying me now. Oh yeah, that's it. You were saying Liam didn't particularly enjoy this track. I was just going to say, I think Suzuka's one of those where you're either quick round it,
Oh, Jocko's just
or you go on the curbs and crash quite a lot, like Jocko has.
as Jocko
I think
has
the curbs, especially in the first sector, are killer around here.
So
Making his return.
on
It's
his
not
return
started
then,
well.
yeah, on his return, Jocko's going to be 15th at best then on the grid. We've had a couple more guys setting laps. EOR Hamilton's gone P2. I'm going to get off him because he's got the engine glitch. And then both the Red Bulls, Predators, and his teammate for this weekend as a reserve is Honey Badger. They've both done 29.7s and slotted into P6 and 7 respectively. Who's on a lap? Silly Bunny's on a lap in the Haas.
Well, I think Monkey's just crashed in the same place that Jocko did as well. Harry's missing his left end plate. That's not going to be great for him because he hasn't set a time yet.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks where, especially the first sector, it's pretty free-flowing, fast corners. Car control is a very key thing around here, and Obviously, like if there's a bit of a error with someone's setup, or takes a bit of the grass on entry, or something into a corner, that it's pretty easy to lose the back end. As Jay Darnell once again setting some very good pace early on here. He's the first driver into the 28.
I think it would have been interesting to see how Darnell would have slotted into this championship fight if he'd been here from the start of the season, because in recent weeks he's been showing some great pace, and he's shown that he's right up there in this division. Just unfortunate he's joined a bit too late for his sake.
Yeah, Jay Darnell obviously came in France. He did the one race in Division 1. He said himself he felt he was struggling a bit, but ever since he's come to Div 2, he's been right up there. So I mean, I think maybe just lacking that little bit of confidence, but he's definitely not now. Like his qualifying, at least the last few weeks, has been excellent. I mean, obviously he's had a few issues in the race through no fault of his own, but certainly in qualifying he's shown that he's got good pace, and he's one of a few drivers here in this division that are being sort of lined up for a Division 1 seat next season, or the SLR Elite now, should I say, because it's just been announced this week. So yeah, four divisions for the new season. We're expanding here at SLR, so there's going to be 80 full-time drivers. So if there's anyone that is watching tonight that isn't currently in SLR and is interested in joining, I can safely say that there'll be a seat for you somewhere. So don't hesitate if you are interested to message someone. Any of these drivers, to be honest, you can message. As Bunny's just coming into the pits, have we got anyone else on a lap? Callum McKean is on a lap actually at the moment, and he's going to get a nice bit of a tow off of Ranger here.
Yeah, as you were speaking as well, Beast went quicker on a 28.8. He now tops the timing sheets. I think he's done 3 laps on his soft, so he'll either have to go again in a different set, but I think, to be honest, he'll peel off into the pits. Callum McKean's a 28.6. That's a great lap, early pace there.
Yeah, I was just on board with him for the final sector, and he was looking really good. His middle sector split was definitely good there, and again, another driver who's been showing some really good pace. Obviously, since he got moved up from Division 3, he's had a win, I believe, already in this season, and maybe a couple of podiums as well. Again, it's the usual suspects though towards the top, in being both the Racing Points clock, as he just crosses the line there with the 28.9, and Jay Darnell. They're sort of the usual ones up near the top. And then obviously both the Ferraris in the top 10, they've been showing strong pace. EOR Hamilton and Division as well have definitely been, Division 1 in Singapore, and EOR Hamilton's had a few podiums now, so they're both obviously they're capable of getting the results. As I'm on board with Callum McKean, but he's set a lap. I'm being a little bit lazy at the moment actually, so apologies.
Victor Wrangler just behind, maybe Harry. He's on the lap.
On board with him now. Yeah. So Wrangler is currently one of 5 drivers yet to set a lap. All these guys have to do is set a lap, and they'll gain at least 1 position on Gioco. Or they'll gain as long as it's beating his time actually, which everyone has bar Untrusted and bar. So
we've got
rounding corners. Yep, sorry, Jump.
Yeah, we've got a bit of early action in the stream chat. Wrangler's going to second. That's a good luck from him. I think that should probably see him through, although it is quite close. The only thing sort of relevance to F1, although I'm not complaining if there's action in the chat, is Freeman saying great time from Racing Point, and got to agree with that. They've got a driver first, they've got a driver third in their bid for the constructors title. I believe they're top of Div 2's constructors, and yeah, ever since Callum McKean's come in, he's been a great supporting act to Beast, who's obviously one of the main championship contenders. They seem to have a good, strong driver lineup at Racing Point. Same with Alfa Romeo and I'd say probably McLaren as well have pretty good lineups. Although taking nothing away from any of these drivers because they're all obviously quick, and they're quick enough to be in our second division, which will soon be our second out of four, or maybe some of them will even be moving up. So got to give credit to all the drivers who've been with us this season. I think now's a good time to thank everyone who's here and making SLR what it is as we bring in the introduction of our fourth tier for next season.
Yeah, I'm just on board with one of the drivers you just mentioned, Jan Monkey. He's on a lap at the moment, but he's not going to be quite up there. It's a 29.5, so I wonder if he's perhaps made a mistake because, like you mentioned, he as well has been one of those that's been getting some good results here. He was obviously unfortunate to miss out at Singapore with getting that drive through, but again, he's obviously. It's sort of they are the top three teams, I'd say, in the division. The McLarens, Racing Points, and Alphas. But obviously you've got the likes of the Ferraris and the Renaults, who aren't too far behind, to be honest. Like they've definitely been consistent throughout the season. I mean, I'm pretty sure Top Gunner's still in the top 5 of the championship. Obviously he's been very consistent as much as he has been quick. And yeah, as you say, really, it's just about these guys being. Again, just committed to it. Obviously, everyone's been getting faster throughout the season. Obviously, it is really showing because if you look back at the qualifying times from last season, you compare them to this season in every division. Actually, they're substantially faster, and it just shows that obviously people are willing to put the time in and to obviously try and get the rewards from it. So that's really good to see. I'm currently on board with one of 3 drivers to not set a particularly competitive lap, if one at all. Matt Veach, he's done a 31 flat at the moment, but considering everyone else is in the 29s or the 28s, I'd imagine he made some sort of mistake on his first lap. That's the other thing to note, really. Second to 17th is just over a second. So in terms of cut-off, I mean, you probably wanting to do a low 29. I mean.
Well, speaking of...
In terms of sort of the list of drivers that we've got, sorry Jan, I'd say anyone from Silly Bunny down is probably a little bit at risk, as Jade O'Neill's obviously happy with his efforts and retires in the pit lane. So yeah, sorry, over to you, Jan.
Yeah, speaking of cut-offs, I had a little chuckle when Monkey set his time, and that was because Freeman said, I'd say cut-off is a 29.5, and that's exactly what he did. And it was pretty much instantaneous when he said that. He set the lap. But yeah, it's very close, isn't it? I think anyone, like you said, from Silly Bunny down's got to be a tad worried.
Yeah, so Mavic crosses the line, but he only gains the one position.
I think this is one of these tracks where the field can be bunched up quite closely. There's not really many areas where you can gain too much time. I wouldn't say obviously the pad's gonna be good. The pad's gonna be worse.
The opposite.
Yeah, but it never seems like that because the pad's good in the middle sector, the controller's good in the first sector, and then it's pretty even in the final sector. So it always sort of seems to even out a bit.
I'd say this is very much
personal experience. It always seems quite close between pad and the wheel. Like I remember F1 2017, I've had a couple good races here with a guy on the pad and I was on the wheel, so I wouldn't say there's any sort of outright advantage at this circuit anyway.
Callum goes into the gravel and he's spun it. Is he going to keep it out the barrier? Yes, he does, just about. He's going to be in a little bit of a sticky position here as he's hit the wall in trying to turn it around, and he gets out the way quite well there, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to get back into the pits to set another time here.
He's not having a great time, is he?
Top Gunner as well is also going to have to come out quite quickly to set a lap, otherwise Icam could probably do a lap with half his wing and get ahead of him.
Got to feel bad for Callum, I think, really. He's not had the best of luck recently.
He's not had the best of luck, has he? No.
No. We've got, quickly, sorry Harry, we've got Gareth and Steve-O, as always, supporting their McLaren team in the chat.
Yeah, that's good to see. Always good to see drivers from other divisions supporting their constructors teammates. Obviously in SLR we have the joint constructors championship where the points from each team in each division get added up, and obviously that's quite nice to have as a an achievement at the end of the season. Obviously it shows that as a collective, as your six driver team, you've scored more points than anyone else, and obviously that's really that's something to have on everyone else in the division. Obviously there's going to be 60 odd other people that can't say that they were in the best team that season.
Yeah, I think the 29.5 cut-off is slowly becoming more like a 29.7, 29.8, as no one really seems to be improving at the moment. Quite a few further up the field seem pretty content with the laps that they've set so far. Monkey and Division also aren't going to improve, so 11th downwards are all within in with a shot. I think Honey Badger will probably be safe as well, and Liam, but then after that, anyone's game.
I've just noticed Honey Badger's gained 3/10 on first lap that he'd done, so yeah, he's looking pretty good. I mean, it's actually only going to be SLR. In fact, I think everyone's safe because Matt Veach is still in the pits. And Top Goon has only just come out, so he's not going to get round for a lap. So everyone.
No, Top Goon is on his lap, mate. It's a glitch. I'm watching him now.
Oh, is he on his lap? Okay.
Yeah, so it's just one of those graphics glitches.
Graphics glitch. So
which you just love to see.
And check do definitely.
Yeah, he's 9 times up, Harry. Oh well.
Okay, so there you go.
He's done a 37.7, so that's not really saying much.
Bean's half a second up on his lap. Check this out. Has obviously made a mistake, or he's backing off to go for one. Just going to stay on board with the Haas driver as he rounds the final couple of corners. He goes over that horrible bump, so we might see a driver get caught out by that. But Bean,
that's a good time.
P7, basically matches the time of his teammate. I'm very pleased with that, as they are both Haas drivers. So we've got the Haas's in P6 and P7 at the moment. So the final driver to cross the line is going to be it was Bean, but it's check this out, isn't it? So. Apart from Top Gooner, then this is going to be it really. So yeah, we'll go on board with him now. He comes to the chicane. That can lose you a lot of time there if you go in deep or lock up. It's a pretty tricky braking zone, but he comes to the line now. It's a 29.1. That is going to see him through. So now it's whether check this out can improve enough to get himself ahead of ARL Predators, who did actually improve on his final run there, but well, not enough to give him that buffer. As
yeah, that's
he's on the verge of getting knocked out there.
He's fourth in the championship, I think. So starting 16th, being knocked out in Q1 would not be great for him.
Yeah, I'd say Predators is one of those who's definitely shown that consistency definitely does pay off, because he's not been necessarily up there in every race this season.
Oh, this is going to be close.
It's going to be close, yeah. Predators hasn't really been up there in qualifying at least, but he's definitely capitalised on people's mistakes. He's been very consistent, rarely got penalties. Check this out, has messed up, and he pits, so Predators will get through. And yeah, I mean, I've got to praise Predators on his consistency more than anything. I mean, he's rarely made mistakes this season, although he should have just pitted then. So if his AI crashes now, that would be one of them.
No, he's
rarely made mistakes.
He didn't make the line, Harry.
And he's obviously he's capitalised on others messing up and crashing and getting penalties, and he's had some really good results. He's had a podium or two, and he's had some P4s and P5s, and obviously it is paying off because he is, like you say, P4 in the championship.
Consistency is key.
So then, same old really, as far as we're concerned here in Div 2. We've got both the Alphas, both the Racing Points, both the McLarens through, as well as both the Hasses. I'm pretty pleased with that.
That's a great show from them, yeah.
Being a Haas driver myself, that's promising. We've got both the Ferraris as well, they're through, as are both the Renaults. So sort of all the teams that I was saying are seemingly the sort of faster, in quotation marks, teams, or at least sort of the ones that are more up there. Both the Red Bulls as well getting through, so that's good for them. Obviously, Predators carrying the team somewhat in terms of appearances. Anyway, I mean he's had a few different teammates throughout the season, and Honey Badger on his debut, he's made it through as well, as has the Toro Rosso of Division.
Yeah, Predators is fifth in the championship, not fourth, so we've butchered that one as usual. Just never seem to remember the results or the points, even though we watch the races every week.
And so we had both the Mercedes out, Matt Beach and Jocko. We had the other Toro Rosso out of Callum, as well as both the Williams. I'll check this out.
Entrusted.
Entrusted, there we go. So, early pace setters, again, the usual suspects, being obviously Beast, Alan McKean, Jay Darnell.
Rango's up there as well.
Yeah, Rango was up there. Clock was up there, perhaps a bit more than he normally is. I mean, I'd say that's definitely as well something that Clock can certainly pride himself on, is being a consistent driver. Perhaps not got the one lap pace that perhaps Beast and Darnell do, but in terms of race pace, he's always got good race pace, and again rarely makes mistakes, and so in some ways it doesn't matter that he's perhaps a tenth or two slower than the one a quali lap when he's not picking up the penalties or spinning or getting damage or whatever. So again, I mean, another driver who is leading the championship, and definitely sort of reaping the rewards of having a very consistent season.
Do you think the Alphas might be giving a bit of a tow here?
I was wondering. I was going to say we've got a few drivers sort of battling for position, as it were. I think it's Callum McKean or Beast is trying to sort of. It's Beast is trying to kind of overtake them on this outlap. I've just noticed actually Jay Darnell is running the Ayrton Senna helmet, which is a very touching tribute, obviously on the anniversary of his death, the 26th year anniversary now of Ayrton Senna's death. But yeah, I hadn't actually noticed that. But yeah, Jay Darnell is running a Ayrton Senna helmet tonight. He's too far off Ranga now to get a tow. So he gets the grass on the exit there of the final corner. I think they've probably just decided that try and get out and get some laps down, as Jay Darnell is on the mediums, and so obviously, well, it's a one stop, mediums to softs or softs to mediums, and so
yeah, we've got a few asking for the tyres, so
yeah, he's obviously trying to see if he can get through on the mediums, and if not, it's not really going to be too big if he has to start on the softs. I mean, in terms of strategy, it doesn't make a difference. He goes very deep there into the first Degner, and he gets in the gravel. I mean, safety car, with the nature of the first turn here, sort of sweeping round, you're sort of braking as you're turning, and it kind of tightens itself up. We quite often do see incidents, not only in real life, but obviously in races here, and so I'd say the safety car possibility, as well with the first sector being quite a challenging one, is relatively high here, and so you'd probably want to start on the softs anyway, just by virtue of sort of the safety car being a high possibility. But whilst I'm blabbering away, we've got Ranga then coming across the line, 28.6, so he's gone slightly faster than what he did in the first session. Jay Darnell was actually still done a 29.5 on the mediums, and with that mistake, I think Callum McKean has made, or Beast, sorry, has made a bit of an error there on that lap, because he has hitted OMH and Liam. They slot themselves either side of Jay Darnell, although Honey Badger has just put himself up into P4 on a 30.1. Again, the two Red Bulls separated by a few tenths here. Honey Badger, the reserve, showing slightly better pace at the moment, it has to be said. he's the good 3/10 ahead of his teammate Predators. Callum McKean, yet definitely made some sort of mistake. Well, he's made a mistake as well, actually. Sorry, because it was obviously Beast, the first racing point out. So yeah, Callum McKean then 1:41, so he's not set an ideal lap time there. It has to be said.
Clock's on a good one, Harry. He could be slotting himself into P2 as it stands, quickest of the mediums, if he can nail this final sector, which it looks like he has.
Yeah, coming across the line, what's it going to be? 29.6. So
Lost a couple attempts
behind
to the others in that final sector, I think. But nevertheless, it's a good time from the clock. 29.6.
Yeah, his teammate as well, actually, Monkey, has just put himself there up into P5, although there is a bit of a gap there, 4/10 or so between the two McLarens. Bean as well has set a lap, SLR Bean, he's put himself into P8 with a 30.4, near enough. And also Silly Bunny in the 141s. So it seems like a bit of a trend here. If you make a mistake on your lap, it's a 141. As, we've got a couple of drivers almost identical lap times. So it'd be interesting to see if they made a similar sort of mistake here, actually. As everyone bar Beast and EOR Hamilton has the medium tyres selected, and obviously Ranger, but Ranger has set a lap. In practice earlier, he was in the 29.2s and he couldn't seem to get out of them, but he's done a 28.8 and a 28.6 here so far, so obviously he's managed to shrug that off and setting some pretty promising lap times at the moment.
Yeah, just one thing I think that's interesting to note. We've got second to 11th that have set competitive times.
Yeah, Callum McKean as well, actually, sorry, Jam. He's just put himself P2.
Yeah. Yeah, second to 11th have set competitive times on the mediums. It'll be interesting to see how many of them stick with that and how many of them are sort of forced in a way to go onto the softs. I mean, personally for me, I think softs to mediums makes the most sense. If you can get into Q3, you're not going to lose anything starting on the softs, whereas on some other tracks you would because of tyre wear. It's not too bad around here. It's a simple softs to mediums or mediums to soft strategy. So if you're running the risk of not getting into Q3, I think it's definitely worth going and starting on those soft tyres.
Yeah, we've got a few things in the chat. Steve-O, Clock is Mr. SLR consistent. So there you go. He's got the label now as the most consistent driver in SLR, or at least in Division 2. And then he's also, again, block caps, go on Clockson and go on Monkey. So he's again showing support for the McLaren drivers. Dorsey's in the chat, he's supporting Liam. So again, good support for the Ferraris as well. Obviously Freeman in the chat as well, and he's just reiterating what we said. In that the tyre wear ain't bad. Tyre wear ain't bad. That's Freeman's words there. As Beast is crossing the line then. What's it going to be? It's a 28.4, so he puts himself fastest. That will get him through.
That's a statement of intent if I've ever seen one.
Good night. Beast's Q2 is done. He's through. You can crawl that back to the pits. Don't take the risk. And he seems to have been listening to me because he's half throttle through the first sector. So there you go. Who else have we got? Is there anyone else on a lap? Is Division on a lap here? He's one of only two drivers yet to set a lap time. He is on a lap. He's also on the medium tyres, so he's cutting it fine if he wants to get a lap in on the softs here. I'm just going to go to the fitted tyres, as yeah, there we go then. So despite the fact that most of these guys have set their best laps on the mediums, they're all looking like they're going on to the softs here. As obviously you don't want to be that one driver who gets caught out trying to get through on the mediums, and then everyone else going on to the softs, and you being down in P15 as a result. Is Division going to pit, or is he going to finish the lap? He's going to finish the lap, but it's not going to be a great one. It's a 29.7. Puts in P10. He will have time to pit and get on a fresh set of tyres, presumably the softs. But I'd be very surprised if he got through with the 29.10, as we've got drivers now coming out on the softs. Iceman Liam's out on the softs. Hamilton, interestingly enough, is on an outlap on the mediums, Jam. So I wonder if he's trying to get through on them.
Unless the timings are deceiving me, Darnell's going to do a very quick one here on the oh no, he's on softs. Is he? Softs or mediums? Softs, yeah.
No, Hamilton's on mediums for me.
No,
mate.
I was looking at Darnell, I think. Sorry.
Darnell. Yeah, Darnell's just
yeah.
on quickest.
Yeah, it was
quickest on the soft.
It had mediums showing for me as the tyres that on the car. He had mediums on, so as soon as he crossed the line and set his lap, it changed to soft. So I was getting a bit confused there because he was on a really quick one. But yeah, that's a great time. He's definitely through as well.
I'm just going to go on board with VOR Hamilton then for this lap, because it'll be interesting to see what he can do, because he is seemingly putting all of his eggs here in one basket and trying to get through on the mediums. He may just about have enough time to pit and put on a fresh set of softs if he makes a mistake on this lap, but it will be cutting it fine a little bit as he almost loses the back end there. What's his first sector looking like? 32.5 isn't too bad, but I'm not sure.
Everyone's on the softs now.
Great in the long run. Yeah.
It's better than Callum McKeon's first sector, who's the quickest mediums winner as of now.
Everyone's on the softs, bar Bean, Division and Monkey, but they're all in the pits and they will have time to come out on the softs. Interestingly enough, the Division 1 pole time last season was a 27.7. Currently J. Donnell 5/10 off that, so could we see him or another driver getting very close to the Div 1 pole time last season? We will have to wait and see. Hamilton then coming through the final couple of corners, he does pit.
It's going to be tight for him, I think, but I think that's a smart thing to do. There's no way he's going to get through on the mediums.
Yeah, it will be tight for him, but he should just about make it, and it, like you say, it was a smarter decision, I think. So I'll switch over now to Iceman Liam. He's one of the drivers in the drop zone as it stands. He's down in P13, albeit only a few tenths away. I mean, he's only six tenths off some of these guys, so I'd imagine he'll be somewhere around a low 29, if not trying to get into the 28s, and that would see him move up the standings quite a bit here. 4 tenths up already there through the first sector. Jay Donnell retires in the pits because obviously he's going to be through.
Lee Bunny's backed off his first lap. Made a mistake in the first sector, I think.
So it'll be interesting to see then if he's got enough fuel to go again. We've got a few guys exiting the pits.
Yeah, he did. That might be a session over.
Yeah, we got a few guys exiting the pits now, but a few guys exiting the pits, but not all of them. So some are definitely cutting it fine if they are trying to get out again for another lap. Liam is 1.1 up through the middle sector, so he is going to be around a low 29, like I said. Beast retired as well, so again, another driver who should be safe as Liam crosses the line. And what's it going to be? It's a 29.1, puts himself P4, which was basically where I was suggesting he would put himself. So pretty good lap then by that seems from Liam. Will it be enough to get him through those Predators? Does a 29.2, and then that's beaten again by Callum McKeon, who does a 28.5.
Honey Badger next up, he does a 29.5. Lots of 29.5s.
Yeah, so we've got 3 drivers now separated by a quarter of a tenth. Silly Bunny has not got a red fuel light, and he is on another lap.
I don't get this.
Stay on board with
all
him.
my graphics are going weird.
What's his first sector split? He's nearly 3 tenths up, but I'm just going to quickly switch to clock because this could be crucial in terms of the championship. Although clock is 7 tenths up, so unless he invalidates here and validates this in the next lap, he should find himself
plays it safe.
through. Plays it safe, but it's a smooth line there through the chicane, coming up to the line. 28.624. Dot will also then be through. OMH has gone off. OMH is in the gravel, although I think he has set his lap, and then he's just got in Bean's way. I think he might have just blocked Bean there.
Yeah, I think he has.
I think he might have just blocked Bean. Silly Bunny, meanwhile, is 0.8 up on his lap. He's in the drop zone at the moment, but he's trying to change that, and I think he should do here. I think he could be near Ranga. He is just behind him there, 28.8. Put himself in between OMH and Ranga. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if OMH got himself a penalty for that, because he did seem to impede Bean as he moved across to the other side of the racing line. Bean was 0.3 down through the first sector, and he's backed off. So, unfortunate way, I think, for Bean's qualifying to end. But I mean, I don't want to be too critical, but it did seem as though OMH did block him there somewhat. But we'll move on swiftly then. EOR Hamilton, he's on a lap. Honey Badger is in the pits, so he is out. The best he will get is P11. Top Gooner is also on a lap, I believe, so I'll quickly switch to him.
No, he's backed off, mate.
He's backed off, so Hamilton here could knock his teammate out in the process of getting through to Q3.
I think he might as well.
Cross the line, and he does.
Yeah, good lap.
Hamilton, at the expense of his teammate, gets himself through to Q3. Good lap from him, and it means that we've now got 6 drivers separated by about half a second. We could see a very good battle here for pole jam. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it looks like, I think saying it's a 2-horse race would be a bit harsh, because obviously Callum McKee and Clock, Ranga, all looking pretty close as well. But I think that pace from Darnell's looking very good for him. I think Darnell's going to be my tip for pole. If we get any votes in the chat, it'd be interesting to see how other people are thinking. Freeman thinking the exact same as me. It's like we're telepathically connected. He keeps saying stuff at the same time that I say it. Darnell might tip for pole.
In the chat,
or Beast,
Riggs
one of those two.
Supporting Preds. Preds has made it through then to Q3 after nearly not making it out of Q1. So there you go. Good job from him to get into Q3. Both the Ferraris through, both the racing points, both the Alphas. Only one McLaren Monkey, I think, either made a mistake or just didn't quite have the pace of his teammate, and he starts P15. Silly Bunny, the lone Haas, then into the top 10 shootout. We have lost a Renault of Top Gooner. We've lost, I believe, Division and Monkey, so a Toro Rosso and a McLaren. We've lost the Haas of Bean, who was unfortunately leading on his final run, and then Honey Badger, who was the slightly faster of the Red Bulls up until right at the end there. He's down in P12 on his debut.
He set a quicker lap in Q1, I think.
Him.
So yeah, there must have been some sort of mistake from Honey Badger to do a 29.5 on the softs, because he definitely did a 29.4. I'm 99% sure in Q1. But even so, 12th, not the worst place to start. He's got a pretty good shot at points. I think all of those, to be honest, down in 11th to 15th, still have a good shot of points.
Yeah, so we've got the top 10 here, separated by literally a second in Q2. So I think this is going to be really, really spicy here. I mean, one mistake on your lap, and that could be the difference between, you know, P2 or P3 and a P7 or a P8. So
depends how many tyres everyone has
really
left as well.
Interesting as well. That is a very good point. It does depend on what tyre compounds and what and how many sets, the drivers have left here. I'm gonna say it's hard to look past Darnell when he had quarter of a second to his nearest competitor in Q2, but when we said Beast at Monza, it was Darnell. So I'm going to
Yeah, I
say
was
Beast
thinking
tonight.
that.
I'm going to say Beast tonight and say that Darnell's not going to quite get it. I think Beast will pull it out of the bag here. That's my prediction. Bit of an... sounds bad saying a bit of an outside uh, vote, as it were, but with the pace that Darnell showed at the moment, like I say, it would be hard to look past him. Riggs says Preds for pole. That would be incredible. Well, if he's gone from P15 in Q1 to P10 in Q2 to pole, he's definitely found something there in the pits in between sessions, I think. There's 33 of you watching, so I'm gonna call you out here and ask you to get involved. Please vote in the chat. We'll get some interactions here with the chat and see what your predictions are for pole. Doesn't have to be predictions, it can just be anything. If you've got a question, if you want me to do something because I'm doing my job not very well, anything like that. And as soon as I've called 33 people out, it's gone down to 21, so there you go. I wonder if that was just a bit of a glitch or what, but there you go. I'll get on board with Clock, as he is going to be the first driver on a lap here, and I will let you take us through it, Jam, for the first time today.
Yeah, Freeman, just going to quickly say, Freeman said if the rain comes down in the next minute, whoever sets the lap first could be on pole. I had no idea there was going to be rain.
We've got rain. Yeah,
apparently
I didn't
so.
realise that.
But here we go for a lap.
All drivers are out on track actually as well.
Just on that turn for the first corner, so double apex right-hander. Now we get into, I believe they're called the Schumacher S's. Want to be careful on the curbs here because it's so easy to lose the car. And then you are a passenger. Same with this long sweeping left-hander here. I think it's the Dunlop curve. I'm not too sure on the corner names around here, so I do know these two though. The Degner's iconic corners. I don't know. Brake just as you straighten the car up now for the hairpin. Short shifts up to third to get good traction on the exit. Now he's going to hold it flat out down into spoon. Brakes just after the 50-meter board down to fifth. Gets a nice turn in, shifts down to fourth. And now pedal to the metal down the back straight and towards one of the most famous corners in Formula 1, 130R. Flat out through there as always, and now braking down into the final chicane. Want to be careful on these inside curbs because they're tempting to cut, and then obviously this infamous bump as well. And he's going to come up to the line here, Clock. He does a 28.7.
I'm not sure that'll be enough.
No,
Darnell and
there could be used tyres, of course.
Ranger's 28.8, Darnell 28.4. Freeman says rain inbound, and Amico as well. He's saying Ranger for pole. So well, if the rain comes down, it won't be
quicker,
Ranger, but
slightly.
Beast puts himself
2700.
Yeah, but we've got 6 drivers here separated by less than 4 tenths. Iceman, Liam, and Predators a little bit further afield. Silly Bunny puts himself up into P7. So it does seem like there's a little bit of a gap here. Ewell Hamilton's invalidated. It does seem like there's a little bit of a gap here in terms of pace. Perhaps there's seemingly a top 6, as it were, forming in this quali session. And it looks like Silly Bunny, Liam, Predators and Hamilton are going to be battling it out for P7 to 10. But that may be a bit harsh from me because obviously they may have made a mistake on their laps, but it will, just judging by the trend of what's happened so far, I'd say that it is looking somewhat like that. Ranger and Callum McKeon both down on the laps that they managed to set in Q2, as was Jay Darnell. So sort of kind of what happened at Monza really. Beast, the early pace setter, as Jay Darnell was here. And then it switched in the final quali session, and Darnell got pole.
I think Clock's going again, Harry.
Clock's going again, then that's promising for him, because if he had a lot of fuel on board, he may gain quite a bit of time from this. And if the rain is coming like now, Clock's going to be the only driver to get a lap in. And I think I did just see a spot of rain, but I might have just been imagining it.
Yeah, Steve-O said, "What a lap, Lucky boy." And yeah, it was a good lap, 28.7, but that's just one of those things. It's a good lap, but it's not good enough. And for him, anyway, he's 3 positions behind his championship rival. He's purple in the first sector, though.
10-foot jump. Again, though, it just shows how competitive this division is. When you know, people are saying that it was a good lap, and it's well, I mean, clock's high standards. It's down in 4th for him. I mean, obviously, I mean, as anyone would, you're always going to back yourself to be up there. And I mean, I'm sure he'd love to be at least alongside Beast, going down into turn 1 on the first lap here. Oh, but he's made a bit of a mistake there out of Spoon. He took it a bit narrower on the entry compared to what he had done earlier on, and it's one of those where you kind of want to feed it around. He's a 10th down, so I think he's gonna back out on this, and perhaps that might have been a bit of a mistake because the rain isn't here yet, and we've got a few drivers already back out on laps. EOR Hamilton and Predators both already back out on laps.
Cheeky reverse.
Binned it?
No, he decided last minute to pit. No, he decided last minute to pit.
Oh, he's absolutely butchering his pit entry, and I think I just saw the rain jam. Yeah, we've got rain then at Suzuka. Big news here. The rain is coming down, and if it comes down quickly here, this could be it. Callum McKeon. Callum McKeon went for the run and we've missed it, but he has snatched pole. So I was halfway there with a racing point on pole.
Well, apologies to him. We've just missed his whole lap. But he's taken it from his teammate. He's not going to be happy with that. Beast, that's affecting the championship quite considerably, potentially anyway. But yeah, I said it in Russia. I'd be surprised if the times improved, and they didn't. It just depends on how quickly the rain comes down. I think, looking at it though, Hamilton could be the last driver to set any sort of competitive lap time.
He seems to be struggling still.
Yeah, I think he'll be the indication of
quickly here.
How wet it is.
32.4 first sector isn't bad though, actually. Seems to be all right on the traction as well. Miko in the chat as well saying that the weather could perhaps be making the track slower. I think it was in terms of temperature at first. Obviously, the track temps do somewhat affect lap times, and then obviously it was getting colder because the rain has arrived. And now, obviously, the rain will definitely affect the lap times. But Hamilton, to be fair to him, is seemingly keeping it pretty
tidy.
Yeah, pretty tidy.
I think, yeah, as I said, this will be the indication of how wet it is.
Has crashed, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Has also gone off because there's yellow flags at the exit sector 1.
And Wrangler as well.
Alpha as well now off. Hamilton does manage to put himself P8.
Yeah, it is.
So he has improved slightly. I don't think anyone else is going to be setting
it looks too
lap.
They're all spinning.
Says Owen in a great position, which he is. He is in a great position of P4. He's not in such a great position being in the barrier, but I don't think anyone is going to improve. If someone does improve, then they've definitely had some extra Weetabix or something this morning, as Clock has lost it out of Spoon again, nearly binning it. Ranga has invalidated, but he's obviously the one in. He was the one in the gravel. Predators as well was in the gravel. Liam's just starting a lap, but the rain now is just coming down. I think, as you say, yeah, Liam's already backed out. So yeah, I think this is it then. A racing point 1-2. I predicted Beast for pole, but it is his teammate Callum McKeon by just under 0.02 of a second on pole position here for the Japanese Grand Prix in SLR Division 2. Third on the grid, Jay Donnell. It's half a tenth less than between the top 3 on the grid. It shows just how little or just how much you can lose from one little mistake. OMH, very strong showing from him, up in P4. The clock, he's in 5th. Again, maybe not quite as high up on the grid as he would like to be, but his race pace and his consistency will definitely see him up there at the end, I can assure you. Ranga, P6. Again, perhaps didn't quite set the best lap that he could have done there in that final quali session, but he's still starting P6, so it's not a bad position at all. Silly Bunny, he's in P7 in the Haas. I'm pretty pleased with that. from a Haas point of view. Again, I mean, if all of these guys can sort of just stick with the front runners, then they'll be doing well. Hamilton managed to set a lap in the rain and put himself P8. Liam and Predators, they set laps right at the start, but could only manage P9 and P10 respectively. I'm saying this quite prematurely, but obviously the rain's just getting heavier now. If someone improves their
No, there's no way.
hovering
There's
above
no
the track or something. Silly Bunny is still out on track, as is Clock, but Clock is coming into pit, and Bunny is 11, 12
Someone
seconds
should just tell him to...
lost it on the track.
An admin should just let him retire on
case,
track here, to be honest.
Yeah, I think in this case, he'd be allowed to retire on track. Predators saying he locked the left front and he dropped it. So that's a little unfortunate there for him. Sprightly was saying that OMH wasn't feeling very confident about the race tonight, but well, seemingly that mindset's gone out the window with a strong showing in quali.
He then said he sent it
ridiculous
before he crashed, but I don't think I'd be too worried if I was him, because obviously in the wet, it's on dry tyres, it's pretty easy to lose the car. Yeah, these are the final standings. There's no way he's improving.
And then the final thing of note in the chat is Freeman, Callum McKeon out of nowhere, which it certainly was. I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but I definitely say that it was a bit of an outside chance for pole. I mean, I was giving Beast an outside chance, and yet he's ended up P2 on the grid behind Callum McKeon, who no one even mentioned, despite the fact that he was definitely up there in the first two quali sessions. And so there you have it. It is less than half a tenth between your top three for the SLR Division 2 Japanese Grand Prix. It is Callum McKeon on pole, ahead of his teammate and championship challenger of Beast Assassin. Third, Jay Darnell, another strong performance in quali from him. OMH with, I'd like to say, his best quali of the season, up in P4. Clock, the championship leader, he's P5, but he'll definitely be up there in the race. Ranga P6, again, he's carrying the Alfa Romeo along with Jay Darnell. Another strong showing from the pair of them. 7th was Silly Bunny in the Haas. Again, good showing from Bunny in the Haas. I'd like to see him get some points though by the end of the race. 8th was Iowar Hamilton. He managed to set his lap a lot later than anyone else. He did it in the rain, but he put himself P8. 9th, Iceman Liam. Again, both the Ferraris into Q3. They can't have too many complaints with that, and I'm sure Liam can't have too many complaints, considering he said he wasn't particularly keen on this track. And then 10th on the grid is ARL Predators, who made that little mistake on his final run, but I'm sure he'll be pleased with P10 nonetheless. We've got Baggy Fan and Darnell in the chat, both predicting Darnell to be on the podium at the end of the race. They've not said which step of the podium, but they are confident that he will be on the podium in one position or another. So we have now got the 5-minute break. I'm just going to grab a quick drink. I'll bring the race director up for you, and I'll put it on the bottom 10 just so you can see what tyres they're looking at. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and then I think me and Jam will probably be discussing the strategy and the tyre choices.
Right, so this is the point in the stream. Pretty much every week, I usually just have a little chat about what I think is going to happen in the race, and I'm going to do that again today. I think the most interesting thing to note here has got to be that racing point 1-2. I think we could potentially see Callum McKeon being used as a bit of a rear gunner for Beast. I think that would definitely be useful for Beast in the championship. Although obviously, of course, he's not entitled to do, well, he's not He's not got to. He's not got to be a rear gunner for him, but I think that'd be helping out his teammate. Clock in fifth. He's going to need to just stick with him as best he can. He can't afford to lose too many points to Beast. Not many races left in the season, but he's obviously still leading slightly. I think the worst thing for these racing points will be any sort of collision into that first corner. That'd be pretty bad for them as a team. Obviously, leading the constructors in Div 2, it would be horrible if they came together. Freeman saying Darnell for the win. That's an interesting shout starting in P3. It's obviously not the easiest track to overtake at is Suzuka. Callum Keane went under the radar last week. No one really mentioned him in the top 5, but I think you could probably say he's a good shot for a podium today. I think it's crucial for Clock as well to get past OMH on that first lap if he wants to try and get onto the podium. But I feel like it's one of these tracks where that top 3 in quali could all just end up on the podium. Maybe not in that order necessarily, but they'll be looking strong as we have Top Gunner, Division, and Entrusted all in the mediums. Interesting, McVeach is currently selecting the hards, and everyone else is on the softs. I believe they are the final tyre choices as well. I think the hards for McVeach is a very interesting call, seeing as the mediums to softs is the ideal strategy. I think someone might have readied up slightly early or something, because Callum McKeon has not gone off the grid here. Neither has Darnell, neither has Oranga, and loads of people are getting disqualified, so someone might have jumped the gun here, so we may be getting a restart unless someone's gone when they're supposed to and people just weren't ready for it. But I'll keep you up to date with that in the coming minutes. Is there going to be a restart? I don't think there is.
I think we're
Ranga's not happy
restarting.
with. I'm not sure if we are by the looks of things. Ranga's not happy with Callum
Callum's
McKeon.
just left.
Yeah.
Why? What's Callum McKeon done? Is he ready
I
up?
don't think he didn't move off the line,
Oh,
but now he
they
has.
crash into each other.
I'm really not sure what happened there.
I don't know. Callum McKeon is still in. He's down in about P15 though. He's trying to get.
Yeah, he didn't go off the line for ages, and it caught a lot of drivers out. There's loads.
Yeah,
there's
both,
1, 2, 3, 4,
both
5
the
on the grid.
Both the Alphas. Monkey, Hamilton, Monkey, Top Gunner, Predators, and both the Alphas. Yeah, Predators in the chat, just saying what is happening. So obviously he wasn't expecting people to just not move off the start.
Someone didn't go. I'm pretty sure it was Callum McKeon.
Freeman's saying Darnell for the win. He's saying if OMH gets a podium, then his head will be gone. And then he's telling us off being on the race director, but I was getting a drink, so apologies, Freeman, but wouldn't mind a drink.
Yeah, the most interesting thing to note, if we don't restart, I think is, there is no restart. Top Gunner, Division, and then Trusted on mediums, and then McVeach on the hards, which I mentioned in my little chat to everyone. I thought probably wasn't the right call, but that's what he's gone with. Baggy fan saying race restart. I'm pretty sure Ranga's just said as well. We're not restarting, so all these drivers have been sat on the grid for ages on cold tyres. That's not going to be great for them. We could see OMH and Clock maybe getting the jump on Darnell off the start. Won't be surprised if Darnell starts going back.
Tried to explain what has happened. He said some people just didn't move, and then some did, and he just grazed Top Gunner, and unfortunately they've both been sent back to the grid. So Callum McKeon, then the last driver to line up in his grid slot, that's going to give him the advantage at the start. He's going to have slightly better tyres than some of the guys around him. But here we go then. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it is go, go, go for the Japanese Grand Prix here in SLR. And Callum McKeon has got a tremendous start there. OMH, side by side with Clock into turn 1. He just about
Darnell's gone wide.
through.
Darnell's lost it.
Darnell, yeah. Darnell is off. He's last. I was about to say Ranga, but then yeah, Darnell. OMH already then up into a podium position. So Freeman's head must be starting to go. Clock in P4. We've got yellow flags at the back.
That's McVeach on the hards.
Matt Veach is around. Callum has already made up 5 positions off the start, but it is still a racing point 1-2 as it stands. It will be interesting to see if Callum McKeon uses this slight tyre advantage in terms of temperature that he's got right now to try and pull away, or whether he's going to play a bit of the team game, bit of the championship game, help Beast out. Obviously, Beast fighting for the championship.
That's exactly what I said when you were gone, Harry. I said I wonder if he'd be a rear gunner for him.
I'm going to have a look at the championship standings now, actually, because I don't currently know what they are. But in terms of the race standings, we have got Callum McKeon then already with a 1.2 second lead to his teammate, that is Beast, who's got OMH behind him, and then Clock in P4.
Liam's going for
P5.
Hamilton
wants
130. Sorry.
Yeah, I've just thought it. Is he going to go for a dive into the chicane? He doesn't, but Hamilton goes in slightly deep. Can Liam get the run here? Out the final corner. Over the bump he goes. He's right on the back of him here. He's going to get a bit of a tow. He seems to have some pretty decent straight line speed here, Liam. He's going to pull to the inside. Oh, this is going to be... Oh, yeah. The nature of that first corner is so easy to come together here. Just because if you're going up the inside of someone, sort of diving it up, braking later, and the other guy is sweeping round to take the racing line, you kind of just meet in the middle and catch each other. But Clock has spun. Mr. Consistent has spun. He's down in 16th. Oh, we've jinxed him, Jam. We've jinxed him right from the start. Clock has spun and he's all the way down in last. I don't think he has got damage, but that is, well, that's damage enough, really.
Only a safety car will save his race now.
Well, that's going to be crucial in his championship fight. Jay Darnell was already working his way back up through the field as he goes down the inside there of Trusted, late on the brakes into the hairpin, gets good traction on exit and makes his way up into P16. He's obviously going to have a lot of work to do now to get back up to where he was, as Bean is also right on the back of division through Spoon Curve.
Great start from Silly Bunny, Harry. He's at 3 positions. Those top gooners, those division. But as always, Callum right from the back, getting a great start. He's at 6 positions. He seems to be moving up early on, pretty much every week. Silly Bunny's closing in on OMH a little bit as well, and Ranga's with him as well. Callum McKeon's just sort of checking out at the front. He's obviously got some great pace at the moment.
Yellow flag sector 3.
That's Callum. I've jinxed him.
Callum. Stop it, Jam. Callum then unfortunately made a really nice start, but he's had a spin there as all Predators losing the back end through turn 1. Big lockup and nearly lost it. Callum's unfortunately retired in the pits. But yeah, Predators again locking it up on the brakes. Championship standings, Jam. Really interesting here. 12 points separate Clock and Beast at the top of the championship. And so that spin from Clock could be very crucial in his
got a penalty
already,
Harry.
Ranga. We told him not to, guys. We told him not to, but Ranga has already unfortunately picked himself up a penalty. Predators then has lost quite a bit of time to Top Gooner with that lockup, and he's got a little bit of a train falling behind him now, all the way back to check this out in 17th. Other than that, Silly Bunny as well, Jam, has made a tremendous start. He is up into P4, up 3 positions, the Haas driver, and he is now looking to try and catch up to OMH, who is currently P3.
Yeah, OMH's connection's not looking great, yeah.
So it's
hopefully
the 2 drivers here.
Stay in.
2 drivers with notoriously bad connection fighting out for P3 and P4. Just looking at the championship standings, actually, Jan, Crispy is only 37 points behind. So if he raced here tonight, he was still definitely within a shot of the championship, but I'm not sure he will be after
No.
tonight. But OMH is losing quite a bit of time here to Beast, and Bunny is definitely gaining on him. They're slightly pulling away from Ranga as well, so I wonder if Ranga's having some trouble of his own. The two racing points, the gap hasn't really
Ranga's
changed
missing
for
an
them
end plate,
at
Harry.
the moment. Ranga's missing an end plate. There we go. Do we know why? Have we got an explanation as to why Ranga's missing his front right end plate? But yeah, there you go then. The Alfa Romeo driver, he's going to be feeling the effects of that. He's going to be lacking quite a bit of downforce then, and he's got EOR Hamilton, who is a pretty quick driver himself, right on the back of him then. So Ranga as well will be hoping for some sort of safety car to come in and change that wing. After that, we've got Jocko now. He is right on the back of SLR Bean. Is he going to go for a move into Spoon? Nah, backs out. Thinks better of it. He's probably going to try and get a good run out of it then down the back straight, which he seems like he does. He's gone board with him now as he's in the slipstream of Bean. Is he going to go for it into 130R? He has a little look, but Bean seems to have very good straight line speed here. Covers him off. Are we going to see a dive bomb into the chicane? No, we're not. Jocko then smart driving from himself. He just sits behind the Haas driver for now, and this train does continue. Although having said that, Predators has managed to gain some time to Iceman Liam, who has lost a position to Top Gunner not so long ago.
I think Beast has made a bit of a mistake as well, Harry, because OMH is right in his DRS. And
Yeah,
Silly Bunny's there as well. Yeah, he was about 1.1 behind him at the start of the last lap. It went to about 2 seconds, and he's starting to close it back in again.
Yeah, OMH's connection is diabolical. He's all over the shop. It's difficult to watch. In fact, I might go off him because it's making me a little bit motion sick. I think getting a bit sort of moving around everywhere. Jules in the chat supporting fellow ARL driver and ARL Protos. And as well, we've got, I think Sprightly was just mentioning about the tyres being cold at the start. And so that I think has definitely messed a few drivers up. I'd say J Donnell and Clock probably both losing out due to that, as obviously he had a long wait on the grid. Well, J Donnell more so, but yeah, I think you're right. I think Beast must have made a mistake because he's lost for quite a bit of time to Callum McKeon, and OMH have gained in on them. Just going back through the order then, Ranga's lost a significant amount of time to them, but Ewell Hamilton has also dropped off slightly from the back of him. We've got J Donnell, he's made his way past Monkey. Sorry, I'll let you
No, I was just going to say Ranga's actually still got pretty good pace, despite the fact that he's only got one of his end plates. He's not really losing too much to the guys in front, so I think he'd probably be right with them if he had his full wing. Not really too many positions changing hands at this point. I think, like we touched on earlier, it is quite a difficult track to overtake, so maybe penalties will play quite a big part in that.
Yeah. This is definitely a downforce track. It's one you'll be running slightly higher wings perhaps than you would at some other tracks, and I think obviously losing half of it is going to be pretty damaging to your race. And obviously I think Ranga's struggling a little bit with that as OMH has spun coming out of Spoon Curve, and that is all his hard work undone then as he drops down P6, P7 as Top Gunner gets past him. In fairness to OMH, he did well to not come back straight onto the racing line. He has slotted his way back into P7, and judging by his pace, I reckon he could work his way back up here into P4, but I think Bunny is probably going to be out of reach unless obviously there's a safety car or something, because Bunny was showing some pretty similar
Hamilton going for Ranga, sorry Harry.
Let me just get over to that.
He didn't quite have the confidence to go around this outside into turn 1. Ranga covered it off well.
It's going to be one of those, Jam, I think, where Ranga will lose more by letting him go than he will by keeping him behind.
Yeah, I
Because all
think
that
he
he's
has to
losing
keep
by
him
keeping
behind.
him behind is time to the leaders. Time to the
But,
leaders that he may or may not be losing anyway.
I think
And
I
so
think he will be losing it anyway.
and
With
so if
half
he
a
were to
win
let
already.
Hamilton go, he wouldn't be able to stick with him. And so he's basically got to defend like this. As Beast has lost even more time to Callum McKeon Jam. The gap is almost at 3 seconds now. So I wonder if Beast has also got some kind of issue, because he's certainly off the pace here of his teammate at the moment.
Yeah, I think Beast might just be playing it a little safe, potentially. Obviously, he's going to get a good haul of points on Clock now. I think Clock will do well to get any substantial points, unless there's any sort of major changes in this race. I think Beast would like to hold on to second, but Silly Bunny is obviously going to want to change that. If he could just pull out of Bunny's DRS, that would obviously make it a lot more comfortable. But yeah, like
Yeah,
you say,
we've
I
got
think the longer Wrangler can keep him behind, the better.
yeah, we've got a bit of a train now, Jam, or well, a bit of a group at least, from Iceman Liam down, well, basically to P15. We've got Iceman Liam coming into the pits now actually already.
Ooh, that's
So another
early.
stop for the Ferrari driver. We've got both the Red Bulls then, and then Division in the Toro Rosso. Obviously, no sort of team orders between those two teams in league racing. But Division was very close to the back of Honey Badger going into 130R, but he's lost a little bit of time after that. And then the other thing I was going to mention was that obviously Honey Badger being a reserve behind his teammate of Predators, but I'd say perhaps showing slightly better pace at the moment. It'll be interesting to see if Honey Badger does go for a move at some point, or whether he's content with letting Predators have the points as it stands. Division there just making a little bit of a mistake and losing a bit of time there to Honey Badger, and still Hamilton can't get past Ranga, so I wonder if Hamilton's running quite high wings here. And now Ranga's starting to collect a few drivers behind him. He has got EOR Hamilton, Top Gunner and OMH, and Bunny now right on the back of Beast as well, Jam, although he's having connection issues as well because he's rubber banding all over the shop. But Beast now, the gap between him and Callum McKeon, 3.5 seconds, so Beast definitely losing some time here. I wonder if he's got some sort of issue, or whether he's just not got the pace, but it didn't seem like that in qualifying. So here we go then. Ranga pulls into the pits here on
That'd be
lap
good for Hamilton.
8.
He needs to push now, because
Yeah,
I think
Hamilton
he was still behind him a little bit.
Yeah, he's been released then. He's got some clean air, and this is his time to really push on. We've got yellow flags, and that is Jocko. Jocko has lost it on the bump.
Ranga's
the
changing his wing,
corner.
Harry.
Ooh, okay, so Ranga's going to drop. Well, he could even drop behind the Toro Rosso division here. That could be pretty drastic for him. We've got yellow flag set to 1. That is, check this out. He's lost it on the exit of the first corner there, but still
I think it will be
no safety car or that.
It'd be interesting to see how this early pit stop, this undercut from Liam will do. As Monkey and Entrusted.
Yeah, Monkey Entrusted.
come
Monkey
together.
picks up a penalty for it. We've got yellow flags, but is there going to be a safety car? Let's get over to this. Monkey's spinning himself back round. Entrusted's out of the race. Monkey's still in it. Almost took out Liam when he was coming back onto the track. We have got yellow flags. We've got a car in the barriers there in a pretty dangerous position, and yet we have no virtual or full course safety car.
I'm really surprised about that. I think Liam and Ranga will be relieved though, of course, having just pitted.
Yeah.
Will we see anyone
I think
into the
in some
pits?
ways,
Callum McKeon stays out. Beast stays out.
yeah,
They're going
in some
longer than I was
ways,
expecting on these soft tyres.
Yeah, I think
Hamilton
Beast will be
pits,
relieved
sorry.
though as well, actually, Jam, because obviously he'd get held up behind Callum McKeon if they were
Yeah,
to
of
double
course.
stack into the safety car.
OMH
Penalty for speeding into the pit lane. I think Hamilton's going to get out ahead of Ranga here anyway, on the basis that well, Liam did, and Liam was behind Ranga.
It'd be
Obviously,
interesting to
Hamilton was
see
ahead of at least
where Liam ends up
Liam.
compared to them, though, obviously, because
Yeah.
he was quite a way behind before he pitted, a couple of seconds.
Jocko's also picked up a penalty for speeding into the pits. So EOR Hamilton then, he comes out in P11. He's the first of the drivers to pit. OMH has stayed ahead of his teammate of Iceman Liam, but he's in P12. Monkey retires in the pits, and so he won't be continuing anymore in this race. Yeah, so Ranga losing time from that front wing change, but I think it was something that he had to do. He was losing too much time staying out with that broken front wing, and so I mean it was not really an option to continue like he was. Beast has gained about 8/10 to Callum McKean, sorry, since we last looked at the gap. Is Callum McKean going to pit? If he does, this is going to force Beast into going a lot longer, but now as Callum McKean pits, Callum McKean stays out, sorry, yeah, Beast now coming into pit, because otherwise I think Beast would have been in a pretty bad position there, having to do 12 laps on the soft. So I'd imagine we're going to see Bunny and Callum McKean in this lap.
Can we see
Bunny
the tyres?
stays out, interestingly enough. Yeah, Bunny stays out, interestingly enough, despite the fact that he himself had the had free reign as to when to pit, as Ranga gets another penalty. So
I completely forgot Top Gooners on mediums, Harry.
Yeah, so
that could
Bunny
work out
had free reign
for him
as to when to pit, and yet he's going long on these softs. So he's obviously still pretty happy with the current state of the tyres. He has actually gained slightly to Callum McKean during this lap. It will be interesting to see if he can get an undercut. As actually Beast
Hamilton jumped Ranga as well, so
Beast has come out behind. Check this out. So he's got a bit of traffic here, Beast. This could be very crucial here for Bunny. If Bunny is able to at least close in to Beast, that would be very good for his race. We've got Matt
lost touch a little bit.
Matt Beach in P8 on the hard, so he's doing a pretty good job on the hard compound size at the moment. I mean, I wouldn't recommend the hards around here, but obviously he's chosen to, and he's doing all right. So there you go, Honey Badger as well then. So we've had a few guys having to stay out slightly longer than perhaps they would have wanted by virtue of being behind their teammate, as both Callum McKean and Silly Bunny do pit. I believe Honey Badger is going to pit as well. He's got Division, who is interesting enough on the mediums behind him. As Honey Badger nearly loses it coming into the pits, but that might have been down to lag a bit, and he pits a penalty as well, although it didn't look like he was over the limit. So here we go then. Beast, if he can't get past Check This Out here, he's really going to struggle, because Bunny will close up.
Barely close.
Beast goes up the inside, but Check This Out holds it. Round the outside, Bunny has lost time to Beast, but I think he's going to gain it back, because Beast is definitely being held up now behind the Williams of Check This Out, and this again could be a very crucial part of the race here. If Beast ends up with Bunny behind him and in his DRS, then Beast probably won't be able to shrug him off for the rest of the race. Meanwhile, Callum McKean is just in a world of his own. I mean, he's barely even seen anyone this race, and he's first of the drivers that have pitted. A safety car now though would be ideal really for Top Goon, or in a lap or two's time. Bunny almost loses it out of the hairpin, but Beast is trying it round the outside. It's going to become the inside for Spoon. Gets up the inside. Check gets pushed a little bit out wide, but I think at that point he really had to concede the position. It's not really his fight.
The last driver he started on the softs, not to pit.
Beast then, he's done what he needed to do really. He's made it past. Check this out. He's put a car between himself and Bunny, although I'd imagine Check will be pitting this lap. So here we go then. Yep, pulls into the pits, and that bump is really scaring me when people are coming into the
Bunny
pits.
got 3 DRS from that will help him down the straight.
Honey Badger as well picking up a penalty. Here I've already lost count of who's on what penalties. We've got an interesting battle though here now, Jam, between J Darnell and both the Red Bulls. J Darnell in a Red Bull sandwich, although in terms of pace I think he's slightly out of position.
He's got no ERS.
He's on the back. He's got no ERS, and he's on the back of Predators, who is in the DRS of Liam as well. So it's going to be pretty difficult for him to get
Yeah, I think it's just so
Um,
hard to overtake around here, especially when you're in the DRS of another car.
I think Beast keeps making mistakes, Jam, because Bunny is 3 tenths behind him.
Yeah, unless Bunny's just
3 tenths behind him after
found a
being
lot of pace.
2 seconds at the start of the lap. I've noticed it though. The gap to Callum McKeon sort of went up quite significantly.
Yeah,
And again, it hasn't. Obviously, Bunny's gained. I mean, Bunny is 8 tenths up on his fastest lap, but he's still got half his ERS, so it's not even like he's really pushed
maybe
all
his
his
back
ERS
end's
to
not
try and catch
particularly
up.
stable.
Beast getting a
That's the
very
only
good
thing I
exit
could
though out
think
that
of,
final
really.
corner.
Yeah, Silly Bunny's
As
flying
Bunny
though
sets the fastest lap, ERS.
in fairness to him.
Beast is very low on the ERS actually. He's 20% or so, but he seems to be really struggling here, Jam. I wonder if there's an explanation to it. But I mean, I say he's struggling and he's in a net P2, but when he's when he was my tip for pole and right behind his teammate in qualifying, he just can't seem to match it in the race. So here we go then. The Haas closing in. Could we see a dive into the hairpin? I mean, I wouldn't recommend overtaking here, but that's not stopped people in the past. It's gonna stop Bunny on this lap though. He was slightly too far behind.
Do you remember that race?
News,
What
actually,
year was
Jam.
it? Oh, so.
I was just gonna say Eeyore Hamilton behind Matt Veach. Matt Veach on the hards. Yet to pits. Oh, is Matt Veach and Hamilton ever coming together? I think I don't want to comment on it. It looked as though Matt Veach just moved slightly across in front of Hamilton there, but it was difficult to see. I didn't really catch it. I was just about to mention though, Hamilton now, as he has got past Matt Veach, is in clean air.
Oh, Beast has gone in deep. Sorry, Harry.
Looking to gain on Beast and Bunny, and here we go then.
Spicing
Bunny
up.
nearly loses it on the bump.
He's got him here.
DRS.
Beast has nothing to
He's got the
defend
straight
with.
line speed, moves to the inside, and he's made the move before he's even on the brakes for turn one. Slows it down, and that is Silly Bunny then in the Haas up into a net P2. And yeah, I mean, Beast then obviously lacking a little bit of race pace here, and well, he's still in a P3, but Bunny up into P2.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say when you mentioned the hairpin, that was sort of the overtaking spot of Kamui Kobayashi when he got his one and only podium here. I think it was 2011, 2012, I want to say, but don't quote me on that.
I was going to say 2010, but
yeah, well, it could have been. But yeah, either way, that he obviously made it work there. As look, Veach has left the session and he is the host. We try and get him back in. I believe he's the first disconnect of this race. The other drivers
I'm
have
not
left
sure
it.
if he's disconnected there or he's just a bit annoyed at that incident there that he had with Hamilton.
Either way,
as we've got Jay Darnell on the inside of Liam, but it becomes the outside into Spoon. Tries to hold it around the outside, but he's a little bit too late on the brakes, but Liam has already conceded the position. We missed Darnell then getting past Predators, and he's now got past Liam, so he's back up into P9. I think he'll do well to gain too many more positions here. It'll be interesting to see where Top Gooner and Division come out in relation to these guys, because obviously Top Gooner's really showing some good pace then out in front as Liam picks the penalty. But yeah, Darnell then, he's worked his way back up after obviously that spin at the start. Klopp as well, he's made up a few positions but not as many. I think Klopp will have a bit of a struggle here for points. But obviously that's something that we'll have to wait and see. Bunny is just about out of Beast's DRS range already.
Bunny's
then,
flying,
interestingly
Harry.
enough.
He's caught
Bunny
about a
is showing
second
some really good
to
pace.
Callum McKeon since he got past Beast.
Honey Badger has got past Predators as well, Jam, so what I was questioning earlier on in the race is apparently not going to be put into question here, as the Red Bulls have swapped positions. Honey Badger then on his debut up into P11. And then, yeah, so Darnell up into P9 now. He's made it past Liam and Predators in the last couple of laps. We've got both the Red Bulls on the outskirts of the points, but there's still a few drivers left to pit. Top Gooner being one of them. He stays out again, so he's going 17 laps at least on the mediums. Sorry, as is Division. Callum McKeon starting now to close up then to the back of the Toro Rosso driver. Albeit he is still out of the DRS range. And in fact, just sort of comparing the interval here, Top Gooner isn't actually losing that much time to Callum McKeon.
No, he's not. No, I think I would have pitted there though if I was him. 11 laps on the softs is obviously quite easily doable. Quite a couple of the guys in the first stint did that, and with the lower fuel at the end of the race, he wouldn't have a problem with tyre wear. As the Red Bulls are battling for position, Predators has got back past Honey Badger, so they're scrapping away for P11. Unfortunately for them, it's not for points, but
I think it may turn into a
it could be
Division is pitted.
Silly Bunny could still win this race though, Harry. He's catching Callum McKeon. Although having said that, Callum McKeon's managing his ERS a lot better, but
and
that wouldn't matter if he's catching it. So, yeah.
Looking at the gap to leader, Top Gooner is going to come out in between the two Alphas. So Top Gooner is going to come out P8, fresh, soft, compound tyres. So he's going to have the tyre advantage in the final 10 laps as he hits. So it's going to be interesting to see how far Top Gooner can get back up the field. I mean, at this moment in time, a safety car would be brilliant for him, as it would be for Division, who is also in the pits. I think Division's going to come out maybe a bit more sort of around the.
Top Gooner might get ahead of if he gets ahead of this pack here, he could get a great result.
Top Gooner's out of the pits, and he's already. Oh no, he's just behind him. So Ranga and OMH sweep through round the outside of turn 1. Top Gooner is just behind him, but he's got the tyre advantage. We could see Top Gooner then
possible, isn't it?
Getting himself up into P5, and in fact, these two aren't actually that far behind EOR Hamilton. So could we see the Renaults perhaps battling for that 4th position towards the end of the race? Division did come out just behind the Red Bulls, but also crucially behind Clock. And so if Clock wants any chance of getting points here in this race, he's got to attack and defend at the same time. He's got to keep Division on these fresh softs behind and get past Honey Badger as well. Is Clock going to go the inside into the hairpin? He has a think about it, has another think about it, sort of hesitates a bit, taps back of Honey Badger, doesn't get it done, and as you say, check this out, has lost it in the first sector.
Silly
now he's really struggling to get it turned back around.
He's not, Silly Bunny's just not really gaining. As Top Gooner has flown past OMH, OMH has just put his ERS down. I think he knows where his fight is. So Top Gooner up to 6. He's now going to be hunting down Ranga for P5. You'd like to think he'd do it on the fresh softs, but we'll have to see.
OMH is in net P6 anyway, considering Ranga's got a whole host of time penalties.
Well,
albeit
been in the pits
most of them, yes, in fact, yeah. I was just going to say that most of the Ranga's time penalties were earned whilst he only had half a front wing, so that obviously didn't help. Yeah, Bunny, the gap between Bunny and Callum McKeon really hasn't changed in the last few laps, and so I think, as it stands, then Callum McKeon is looking pretty good out in front. Obviously, there's still a long way to go. I'm interested to see whether Klopp can get a point or two here, as Liam now has lost, not lost time. Sorry, he's nearly out of Predator's DRS range. Obviously, after Darnell got past him, Liam's again built a bit of a gap to the Red Bull driver here. But yeah, like I say, Clock's basically having to attack and defend at the same time, and it would be interesting to see whether he can get that position back then. So we've got Top Gooner on the back of Ranga. These two had a bit of a coming together at Singapore, with Ranga retiring on the first lap. So I don't think Ranga's going to lie down here and let Top Gooner pass. I think obviously Ranga's got a bit of a point to prove here. with Top Gooner, and so he'll be looking to defend as hard and obviously as fairly as he can. But obviously it may be difficult to do with this tyre advantage that Top Gooner does have.
Yeah, I think Callum McKeon was just he's managed his ERS smartly. He's had a very calm and collected drive out in front. I think he'd be a deserved winner if that is the case. He's I don't want to speak too soon, but he has held off all of the threats to him so far. Obviously, a late safety car could spice things up still, but yeah, Top Gooner, I think he'd get 5th, maybe 4th. Don't think he'd get any more than that, but I think from where he started, which was in P11, I think 4th or 5th will be a great result for him, and obviously it's going to be a good result from the Renault team by the looks of things, which obviously I'm not complaining about, being a Renault driver myself. Just looking at the fastest lap, actually, that's currently held by, check this out, a 31.5. Ranga's done a 31.7 on the medium, so he's obviously had some pace. He just got unlucky with that damage in the first stint.
He's got Top Gooner though on the back of him. Ranga's obviously trying to break the slipstream, so he calls out to the left-hand side. Baggy Fan and Darnell in the chat. Ranga the immovable object, and overtaking Ranga is like trying to overtake a bus. So I don't know whether that's a bit of a backhanded compliment there or what, but I mean, obviously it kind of says Ranga's got some good defending tactics.
Top
Gooner then pulls to the inside. Ranga tries to hold it around the outside, but Top Gooner has made the position up there. Very nice.
Clean racing there.
Put the inside into turn 1. Yeah, good clean racing. Nice move there, and Top Gooner's now going to be pushing hard to try and get after his teammate of EOR Hamilton. Yeah, back to what you were saying about whether you think Top Gooner will be able to get Hamilton or not. The gap between Ranga and EOR Hamilton in the Renault had come down actually before Top Gooner had got past Ranga, so I imagine
See, Bunny's made a mistake, Harry. We've missed that. Beast is back ahead of him.
Yes, he has. Bunny has made a mistake, but he's again right on the back of Beast, so we may not be behind him for long here. Didn't get as good an exit though out of Spoon, but he's in the slipstream now. Turns it down though into low on the ERS. They go through 130R. He's having a little look to the inside, just trying to put Beast off. Goes on the grass, nearly loses it. You don't want to be doing that going into that corner. I think he was probably just trying to put Beast off, maybe force him into a similar mistake to the one that he made earlier, in which Bunny got past. But it wasn't to be on this occasion. It'd be interesting to see though whether Beast goes deep into turn 1. Bunny hits the back of him, but it's all right. They've not lost anything from it. So
Bunny's missing an end plate, Harry. Left end plate.
Yeah, he's got damage.
Was it from that collision?
Yeah, it must have been from that collision. He's losing so much time for his first sector here.
It didn't look like they made any contact. Well, the contact was minimal. I'm not seeing any debris on the track. Maybe that was why he lost so much time.
Perhaps. I was just going to say it's unfortunate though, because he was doing really well. I think he should still be able to hold on here for the podium position, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to get back up into P2 now.
Depends on the charging Top Gooner, I think, as well. He's quite a way behind, but he's closing in on Hamilton, and I haven't seen him pick up any penalties yet.
Top Gooner's gained a second to Hamilton already. The Red Bulls have separated themselves a little bit, so now Honey Badger is no longer in his teammate's DRS, and so Clock, who has still got division behind him, so Clock's done very well here to keep division behind him. He now may be looking to go on the offensive here and try and get Honey Badger, because if he gets Honey Badger, he may have a chance at a point or two, but he's got to get past the Red Bull reserve pretty quickly here. Bunny is still there or thereabouts behind Beast, but I don't think he'll be able to get back past him unless Beast makes a mistake. Predators loses it. Predators has lost it, coming out of the hairpin, out of the chicane, sorry, and he's lost a few positions from that. And now Clock then got the DRS, moves to the outside for turn 1, sweeps around the outside. Honey Badger tries to hold it, misses his braking point, swipes across Clock. They both make contact. Honey Badger's round. Clock
I don't think Clock's got any
lost
damage.
the position to Division, but he is still in P11. But I think that maybe Clock's chance at a point gone now, as Division on the softs is past him. And it's all gone pear-shaped then for the Red Bull drivers in a matter of corners. As Honey Badger is now off again through the first sector. It was a bit of a dive bomb there. Freeman, ironically enough, saying that was a bit of a bold move. Obviously, Freeman being known for his bold moves at times, but I think I've got to agree with him on this one. I mean, I think Clock had all but got the move done, and Honey Badger was just trying to hold it up the inside there. I think where I don't think it was perhaps the smartest thing to do. We got the Renaults now.
Swap,
the Renault
yeah.
boys there.
Exactly
Yeah,
what
I was just
say.
about to suggest that.
I think that would be the smart thing for them to do for the team. I think Top Gunner could still have a chance of getting Bunny here. I'd like to see him swap.
DRS.
Yeah, Hamilton's
Doesn't
put it
seem
down.
like Hamilton's putting up too much of a fight.
Yeah, well done, lads.
I mean, from Hamilton's point of view, obviously he's not exactly fighting for anything in the championship. They're going to get P4 and P5 anyway. It just
I think
it's a matter of 2 points at the end of the day. Top Gunner perhaps does have an outside chance at catching Bunny with his damage. It will be interesting to see if he does. But I think that was just one of the
that's one of the best things for me in league racing, when you've got two teammates that they care more about the team maybe, and they're prepared to help out each other. And yeah, I just think that's a great thing to see. Just sort of letting the driver, he's quicker than you, so just let him through and see if he can get any positions. But yeah, I think now's probably a good time to start asking for some votes for driver of the day. We've got just over 3 laps remaining. I think Top Goon is probably a good shout. Callum McKeon's definitely a good shout. He's had a great race. So yeah, if anyone's got any votes, that would be greatly appreciated. I think Top Gooner,
yeah, I mean,
could be pushing for a podium here. Freeman says Gooner for driver of the day. I think if he gets on the podium, it would be hard to look past him. Although, as I just mentioned, Callum McKeon has done a stellar job out in front.
I was just about to say, Bunny, all things considering, as the Williams of Czech has gone off again in the first set. I mean, considering Bunny started down in P7, seemingly slightly off the pace of those top 6 in quali, and he's made his way up to P3. He had been driving a pretty flawless race up until obviously getting that damage. He was going to get P2, and now he's still going to get P3 here. He's done pretty well. If he gets P3 with half a front wing, it would be pretty darn impressive. Let's check this out. Is probably putting off the drivers slightly. I think Top Gunner may have a chance here though on the final lap at getting past Silly Bunny. But yeah, Top Gunner as well on the alternate strategy has drove a very nice race. I mean, it could have been messed up completely by the safety car, but
yeah,
obviously it hasn't.
Had one.
Good job.
Yeah, Scott's saying it's got to be Callum McKeon for him for driver of the day. He dominated out of nowhere, which I think sums it up perfectly, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
he went under the radar in qualifying, but he's had a great race.
Taking nothing away from Callum McKeon, and obviously he's had a stellar drive today, led from basically start to finish. But I can't help but feel a little bit sort of. If I were one of those drivers that had their formation lap messed up, I'd feel a little bit annoyed with the outcome of the formation lap there, because obviously a few of them perhaps spun as a result of that. I mean, it would be a bit annoying, obviously. I don't entirely know why Callum McKeon didn't move off the grid. In his defence, if someone readied up early, then perhaps he wasn't actually there to drive, and so obviously then you can't really blame him for that. But I would still be, you know, if someone's not moving on the formation lap, it would still be a bit irritating, regardless of whether it was deliberate or not. But still, in terms of his actual drive, nothing wrong. Flawless
No.
drive, really good pace as well. So I shan't take anything away from him with that. I just obviously if he were at fault for what happened on the formation lap, then I would perhaps if I were one of those drivers that got messed up by it, be a little bit annoyed by that.
Yeah, Baggy fans saying that Bunny should be considered for driver of the day. I agree with that. He's had a great race. I think, at a point, sort of halfway through that second stint, he was the quickest driver on track. Top Gunner, I don't think is quite going to get close enough to get Bunny on track, but obviously penalties could always come into play.
Close, Jam. I think he might have a go into the chicane at the end of the lap here.
I guess he'll
really
know more
struggling.
about penalties than us, so maybe that will give some sort of indication if he can get close enough to maybe think about a move.
Division
we've not got
then
too many
since-
votes so far for driver of the day, unfortunately.
Division as well has driven a pretty nice race. Maybe not quite as impressive as Top Gunner, but he also did the reverse strategy. Ever since he got past the Red Bulls and Clock sort of coming together, he's made his way again then past Liam, so he's up into P9. OMH, considering he had that spin at the start, he's done pretty well to recover for P8. As has J Darnell then making the best out of a bad situation. He's currently in P7. So I mean, overall nothing too bad. I want to go to Callum McKeon here, but I fear that as soon as I do, we're going to see Top Gunner make a
I can
move
keep you updated
on
with it if you
Bunny.
just want to flick to him quickly.
I will quickly go over to him because he's barely been on the stream today. We've not given him much justice, but he is going to round the final quarter then. It is going to be Callum McKeon to win the Japanese Grand Prix, and I'm going to switch back over straight away to Bunny and Top Gunner.
Top Gunner backs out into 130R.
Bunny's going to hold on, is he, to the podium. Round the final corner, Beast across the line second. Bunny third, but he loses it on penalties, and I think that has probably wrapped up driver of the day then. Top Gunner gets third on penalties. Bunny fourth, Hamilton fifth, Ranga sixth. Then, so despite Ranga having 9
Darnell's
seconds penalties
dropping down a lot,
whatever, he still came sixth. OMH seventh, Division 8, Darnell ninth. Clock gets a point then. Clock gets a point, P10. Oh no, he doesn't. Bean out of nowhere. Bean gets a point.
Wow.
P10 then for the Haas driver. So solid points then for the Haas team, considering. 11th then was Clock. Predators P12, Liam 13th, Honey Badger 14th, although he is yet to cross the line. In terms of fastest lap, that is going to be checked this out at the moment, although Honey Badger is still on the lap here, although he's a long way off what his best lap was. And so it is going to be Honey Badger then on his debut. He was a good driver until that collision with Clock. He's home P14, so he's finished the race nonetheless. And then it is Mercedes then of Matt Beach and Jocko P 15 and 16. We've got another vote for Top Gunner driver of the day. Freeman's not happy with the Ferrari boys. He's a bit disappointed with their performance. But I mean, at the end of the day, when one of them spun and the other hates the track, there's only so much you can do. So there you have it then. Callum McKeon in a dominant drive wins the race from his teammate of Beast Assassin, who is going to now take the championship lead. Beast is going to have a 5-point lead in the championship to Sotia Clock, who after that early spin managed to come back to P10. Third was Top Gunner, who did a superb job with the alternate strategy then, making the mediums to softs work, and we had no safety cars or virtual safety cars in this race. And yeah, just confirmed, Jay Darnell, he had 11 seconds, so he had a 5-second for probably speeding the pits, and then he had two more 3-7 penalties. Top Gooner as well, one of only 4 drivers to have a faultless penalty-less race, as was the winner, Callum McKeon.
I'm not sure how many of these top three have mics. I don't believe Callum McKeon has one. I know Beast definitely will be able to speak to us though, and I'm not sure on Top Gunner
Is
either.
there anyone
But
else we could get in? Could we get like Buddy in perhaps?
well, we've got Ranga here.
Get anyone in?
All right, so
So we're gonna have B sent on his own.
On my own.
well,
Is there
I
anyone
guess
else
we
we
can
can get
just
in? I'll see if we can get Bunny in.
we can just summarise the top three anyway. So yeah, obviously Callum McKeon, not Callum McKeon. I'm going to start with Gunnar in third. Alternate strategy. We sort of went a bit unnoticed. We didn't realise until sort of at the end of that first stint that Top Gunnar was actually on the medium tyres, and then obviously coming out in P6 after his pit stop, and then made his way up and just got Silly Bunny on penalties. So no penalties from Top Gunnar. Great drive from him. Showed some good pace at the end. Then we had Beast in second, who never quite seemed to have the same pace as his teammate. But we can actually talk to Beast. So the first thing I want to ask you is how you're feeling now that you've taken the lead of the championship back. And I also just want to ask, were you playing it a little bit safe there in that race, or did you just not quite have the pace to match your teammate?
Yeah, it feels good to have the championship lead back. A little bit of a respite, I guess. But yeah. I wasn't playing it safe. Callum McKeon just had crazy pace. There's nothing more I could do. I don't know. I don't know where his pace came from. It was a great race. Other than that, yeah.
Yeah, well, that sort of explains it then. Great pace from Callum McKeon. It was a dominant drive from him. Obviously, it's great points for you both in the constructors, just extending your lead in that championship. How are you feeling about that, and how are you feeling about now that this season's really getting to its climax?
Yeah, I think with Crispy missing out on points, it kind of not makes it a two-way battle, but definitely, well, it just makes it more tense between me and Clock, more like specifically. But yeah, it's good to see the Racing Points doing well, at least in our division. We're not doing very well in the joint constructors, but no, it is what it is. Yeah.
Apparently, Callum McKeon sent you a message of something he wanted to say.
Oh yes, he did. He said he's got no audio, so he can't obviously talk. But he said he felt
okay.
comfortable on both sets of tyres. The start helped put in a second away, and just a brilliant drive to get a 1-2 for Racing Point.
Yeah, I think he summed up his own race and obviously your team's race pretty well there. Great day's work for the both of you. Silly Bunny got a mic?
Yeah, we got Bunny in the chat.
Have you got
just
your
tick
box
box as
ticked?
well, yeah.
Alright, we'll just get someone else interviewed then, seeing as two of the top three couldn't.
Yeah,
At one
I was,
point in, oh, sorry, you go, Harry.
I was just gonna say, obviously, unlucky to miss out on the podium today. Unfortunately, had really strong pace and obviously capitalised on some of those at the front making mistakes. But you seem to have really good pace until I think you lost a little bit of time and ended up back behind Beast, and then got the damage. So just sort of tell us what happened there, because we missed you falling back behind Beast as well.
Yeah, no, I thought I had surprisingly good pace because qualifying I didn't feel too good. But yeah, I took advantage of the people at the start, and then I felt like I had the pace on Beast, but I used all my ERS to get past him, and then I had to pull him along with the slipstream and the DRS, using my ERS at the same time. So catching Callum wasn't a priority really; it was more defending Beast. And then yeah, when he overtook me, I thought I could use him to get some ERS back, but yeah, then on that straight, I went straight into the back of him, lost the front left which sort of ruined the race at that point.
Do you want to say something,
Uh,
Jen?
Well, yeah, I was just going to sort of say what Harry said. At one point, you seemed like the quickest driver on track. We thought maybe you were going to challenge Callum McKeon at the end, but obviously it just wasn't quite possible.
Yeah, no, it was a really good race to be fair. He drove really well, and UK Beast drove really well to stay there, and then obviously get past me on that straight. Really nice. So yeah, it's a good race. Probably I think that's my highest finish. So good points for Haas, good points for myself. So yeah, good race.
Mm. Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah,
obviously a bit
good
disappointing
job,
not to
wasn't it?
get the podium, but P4 is still a great result from yourself. Starting seventh, I think it was. So you obviously made up a few positions from others' misfortunes.
Yeah, it was decent.
And it's good points for Haas, so I'm pleased with that. So good job on that as well, mate. All right then. So there we have it. So the Japanese Grand Prix here for SLR Division 2 won in pretty dominant fashion, as it was last week by Crispy. This time it was Callum McKeon who led practically the whole race there. Second in the end was Beast, who, despite perhaps not having the pace of his teammate, definitely had strong pace and obviously didn't make the mistakes that the others around him did. And came home in a strong P2. And then at the death, Top Gooner capitalising on that penalty that Silly Bunny had, and he took home P3 after doing the alternate strategy. So good drive from him. He also got driver of the day, so good job on that. But that will do us for tonight. Be sure to join us tomorrow for Division 3 at 9 o'clock, and then on Sunday we've got Division 1 at 7, and then next week we're back with the F2 on Thursday, and then as well as the normal F1 running throughout the weekend. And that is all I have to say. Thank you and good night.